you're dropping in, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. And we'll get started here in a little bit. It's going to be kind of a quick episode tonight. I have pulled up a number of tweets that I was going to go over. I had to restart my computer and now I lost all those tabs that I had. So I was able to find a few of them that I wanted to talk about, but y'all, things were just not working in my favor. So we'll get started here in a little bit and get right into it. What's up, Crawfish? Okay, let me turn my mic up then. Test 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get started here in a little bit. Touch on a few things, but let me know as y'all tune in the chat. Anything on y'all's mind, any comments, any news that you found. I've been traveling. Work has been absolutely crazy for me this past week as well. So I kind of feel a little bit out of the loop on news as of recent. So if there's anything that I should look up or, update myself on, drop it in the chat, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get started in just one moment. Harry Lum, what's up? How you guys feeling about DOT these days? Haven't tuned in for a while. So, as I've said on previous episodes, my main, as far as investment wise, my main dollar cost average has been into Bitcoin. For quite a few months there, I was only dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. Recently, I have maybe over the past month have started dollar cost averaging back into some other altcoins. One of them included is DOT. To be perfectly honest with you, I have not kept up to date with everything happening in that ecosystem. Yeah, as far as altcoins go and ecosystems go, I still think there's real work being done in that ecosystem. But like I said, I would really need to kind of take a couple weeks to dive back into the ecosystem. I've just really been focused on Bitcoin recently and putting my focus there. So long story short, I'm still bullish on it, at least for the next bull run. I like that they have claimed that they aren't a security. Of course, that's something that they declared themselves, Web3 Foundation. So even though, it's a little iffy that you can just like declare your token to be software, I think that's probably a first we've seen of that. But it does make me a little bit better, feel a little bit better about holding it. But yeah, I'm still dollar cost averaging into it a little bit. I still have my bag of DOT that I've had for like 2 years, 2+ years now. So yeah, let's get into it. And again, y'all, I want this to be a chat tonight. If y'all have any questions, any comments, whatever, drop it in the chat. Like I said, let's just kind of chat and just cover a few things. If you're just tuning in, like I said, I had to restart my computer and I lost a bunch of tabs that I had open of tweets that I was going to cover. So it's going to be a little skimpy tonight on the content, but that's okay. Okay, let's get into it. So y'all, I don't know if y'all seen this. So this has been going around. Vivek here and Breedlove also posted this, but time to sell Bitcoin for CBDCs. Y'all, this is so good. Absolute gold.
Are you or a loved one suffering after buying Bitcoin? Are you fed up with the huge returns on investment? Fed up with all the financial sovereignty and freedom? Perhaps you're annoyed with Bitcoin's level playing field and predictability, or maybe you're just disheartened with its strictly limited supply and constant growth of your purchasing power. Whatever it might be, don't worry. Central bankers have got a plan for you. Introducing central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. It's just like Bitcoin, but without all the freedom, revolution, and financial gain. The idea is simple. Why have control over your own money and life using Bitcoin when you can let an entrenched communist central bank oligarchy control it for you? So what inspired us to create CBDCs? The short answer is, you did. When we looked at all the amazing benefits that Bitcoin brought to people all over the world, like financial sovereignty, freedom, sound money, free markets, and free speech, we thought, wow, the debt slaves are getting a bit too close to stepping off that fiat plantation. We better do something about this. Whilst Bitcoin had a good run, it's time for fresh ideas. And who better to deliver them than the people that hyperinflated and destroyed the current monetary system and global economy? It's time for the adults to take over. And the best thing about CBDCs is they are run by licensed, accredited, and regulated central banks. And central banking is a pillar of communism, and nothing bad ever happens when communists run things. The best thing about CBDCs is they take all the worst attributes of the current monetary system and amplify them. Here are some of the features you can look forward to when using central bank digital currencies. Restrictions on how and where you spend your money. High inflation and loss of purchasing power. Arbitrary and unpredictable monetary policy. Highly censorable. Restrictions on the time in which you can spend your money. Counterparty risk. Negative interest rate policy. Politically weaponizable currencies, attached social credit score system, constant surveillance and sharing of your spending habits with third parties. But if that's not enough reason to persuade you, every account opened gets a free travel clock signed by Christine Lagarde. With features this good, I know what you're thinking. Take my money. And believe me, we will. You see, the problem with Bitcoin is that it's just too predictable and boring. Why use a system like Bitcoin where you can predict the issuance and inflation rate of its monetary algorithm hundreds of years in advance, when instead you can just be kept in a constant state of uncertainty on a weekly basis by arbitrary decision-making by a handful of people at the central banks? Another problem with Bitcoin is that it makes things too simple and easy. What's the point in having one neutral platform that's apolitical and provides a completely level playing field on a global scale that can't be gamed by any single nation, when you can have many CBDCs with interoperability issues ran by psychopaths in a constant power struggle with each other? But what about the magic money tree, you ask? Well, we've got you covered. With CBDCs, you will still enjoy the unlimited issuance of currency that we can counterfeit at will. Why use a sound money system like Bitcoin, where the amount of Bitcoin is limited, when you can use CBDCs and all become billionaires just like the people in 1930s Weimar Germany? And finally, with CBDCs, there's no reason to worry about corruption. As long as you're politically connected and can afford to pay our ex-central bankers $250,000 an hour to give a speech once they step down, you'll get the same treatment as all the other special interests that use CBDCs. But don't just take our word for it. Listen to all these amazing testimonials.
Without a doubt, the best thing about CBDCs is the integrated social credit score system. Not being able to transact is a great way to remind me when I need my next COVID vaccine, or if I've said something the government doesn't like.
Like most people, I don't like change, and that's why I love CBDCs. Even though people say that Bitcoin can fix some of the biggest problems in the world, to me it just seems like a lot of hard work having to manage my Bitcoin private keys. With CBDCs, things can just stay the same, and I can go back to Netflix and chill.
So what are you waiting for? Join the billions of other subjugated people all around the world and get your CBDC account today. Central Bank Digital Currencies, a breath of fresh despair.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So good. So good. I love content like this sort of meme content, but then it's like super educational, right? Wow. And I don't know who actually created this. I don't know if this is Vivek's piece or not, but brilliant. Love this type of content. Okay, let's move on to another video here. As I was telling you all, I have planned a trip to El Salvador, and part of that trip is me spending some of my Bitcoin. Like, my hotel stay is fully paid in Bitcoin. I am going to use Bitcoin while I'm in El Salvador, for food, markets, taxi, whatever it is. And I know that there's definitely the kind of mindset is like you never spend your Bitcoin, right? You just keep buying and buying and holding and holding. And I think there's room for that sentiment, right? There's room for that. But I also think there's room to enjoy and to experience. And I won't go too deep into this. I've talked about this in previous live streams over the past couple of weeks. But, it's moments like this when I have an opportunity to experience, an opportunity to go to Bitcoin country, right? Meet other Bitcoiners there. There's some things that I'm looking into to kind of maybe volunteer some time at some of these Bitcoin led, organizations within El Salvador. I've never been to El Salvador. I'm also interested in, maybe buying some property out there. It's just a lot of things that I now have the opportunity to experience and to enjoy because of my Bitcoin, right? And so, again, it goes to show you never know what could happen. Yesterday could have been your last day on Earth. You know what I mean? You never know. So I think it is always important for things that mean something to you, definitely life experiences where you can use your Bitcoin to experience and to enjoy and to do things that mean something to you. I think it's just such a beautiful opportunity. And so I just wanted to call this out because I think we need to talk about this a little bit more as Bitcoiners, right? I love the HODL mentality. I think it's, we mean well by the HODL mentality. And there's definitely Bitcoin that I hold that I'll never touch, but there's some that I want to spend. There's some that I want to, circulate. And that's okay. Right? You don't have to feel guilty about that. Because that's one thing I was like, am I almost feeling guilty right now for, buying this, my stay with Bitcoin? And that's kind of, is that not a little weird to feel guilty about something like that? So here it says HODL is obsolete. HODL plus spend plus replace must be the new Bitcoiners mantra. I fully support this. It needs to be all three. It needs to be all three, right? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me play this video.
We cannot repeat it enough. Bitcoin is ready for everyday use. If you want your investment to pay off, we need to incentivize the network effect by spending our Bitcoin as much as we can and replace them back right after. This can be done easily now with low fee and no KYC. Hodling to death means ending up like Gollum with the ring and slowing down hyper-Bitcoinization.
So stop hodling, but hodling, spend and replace must be the new Bitcoiners mantra.
We cannot repeat
So
it.
again, I love this. And again, they're kind of speaking to the fact of, if you're really about this Bitcoin life, right? If you're really about this Bitcoin standard, wouldn't pretty much all you have be sats, right? And again, I know this is, not everybody, and I'm not there yet, right? I still hold fiat. I'm not there yet. But I think if you really are about this Bitcoin life, wouldn't it be the fact that you hold most of your wealth in sats, right? And now, of course, there's going to be occasions where you have to have fiat, right? Of course, that is a thing. But again, it's just like, if you're only, the majority of the money that you have is sats, then kind of makes sense that you would need to spend some of it, right? Let's see what y'all talking about in the chat. That was great. Yeah, that video was, and I was thinking about this, when I finally get to that point where I am not so consumed with my job and all these other things, and I can just be, I really want to spend more time just creating specific Bitcoiner content, meme content. Y'all, I've had so many ideas for videos and specifically Bitcoin meme video content, but it's just I don't have the space to work on it right now. But I'm sure whoever worked on that video, it was a blast. And I was just, while I was watching it, I was thinking about, maybe they hired a voice actor on Fiverr or something. Maybe those two women in the video were Fiverr actors, and just thinking about when they got this script, maybe the things that were going through their mind. But yeah, I love that type of content. I'm sure it was a lot of fun to make. Harry Lime, watch out for Max Kaiser. Watch out for Max Kaiser. What do you mean by that? In terms of, let me know what you mean by that. But I did see some tweets. He's gonna be at Bitcoin, the Miami conference again. Maybe we'll get another classic soundbite from him this year. Crawfish, if you're in a position to replenish your sats and we're going to spend anyway, it seems to be a way to get more adoption out there. Not everyone has an easy on-ramp, but if they provide a service and get some sats that way, you have a new person able to utilize the network. Right. I think, it's kind of always come up. How people will say, well, I can't go to Starbucks and buy a coffee with Bitcoin and da-da-da-da-da. And I think part of is we have to start spending it. We have to start using our Bitcoin, because what is the point in these stores integrating the Lightning Network or, whatever Bitcoin payment system? What's the point in doing that if no one's spending their sats? You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it just brings more, once you're actually out here spending your sats, buying a property with your sats, or buying a coffee with your sats, going to a restaurant and using your sats. There's a restaurant, and shout out to the Texas or the Dallas Bitcoin community out here. They do meetups and stuff out here and whatnot, and they've done a meetup there's a steakhouse here in Dallas. I wish I could remember the name of it. So if you ever visit Dallas, you could go spend some sats at a Bitcoiners restaurant. But yeah, there's a steakhouse out here in Dallas, and they accept Bitcoin. And again, it's things like that. If people are willing to spend their sats, then you would see more businesses, small businesses. You will see more businesses make sure there's a way for you to pay with sats. Harry Lime, alts to top up sats. What do you mean by that? Like, are you talking price action or something? Or using alt profits to get more sats? Let me know. Harry Lime, Max is, what's up, the pothead? Harry Lime, Max is hanging out in El Salvador right now. Oh yeah. Max is like, yeah, he's just seems to be everywhere on Bitcoin. And I think we covered this in a previous episode. Max is trying to get 10,000 Bitcoiners out there, or 1,000 Bitcoiners to move out to El Salvador. And I think he's gonna make it happen, y'all. I mean, y'all, I've been really going down an El Salvador rabbit hole. Like, it goes deep. I'm excited to see kind of how this citizenship by investment unfolds with El Salvador, but just the idea of being able to go and buy some property, everything that Naib is doing in terms of tech and Bitcoin, and cleaning up El Salvador, and reducing crime, and just like all these things. I think it's just brewing for El Salvador to just bloom, right? And I was talking to Creole about this, buying property, buying land, things of that nature. I'm like, we need to do this in El Salvador. Like, El Salvador might very well be, the next Singapore, but very much still in its own lane. You know what I mean? So, yeah, y'all, stay abreast to what is going on in El Salvador. And I can't wait to share everything that I learned with y'all when I'm back from my trip. Nick H. Not sure who that is. All right, y'all, if y'all are tuned in right now, definitely hit that like button for me. I appreciate that. And let's get back on these last few tabs that I have. Okay, so Artifact, wanted to shout this out. Of course, there's still been just so much FUD with Artifact. There's been a lot of FUD across the entire NFT space, of course. It just hasn't been looking the best, but this is a neat little thing, Artifact and Nike Air Force One merging worlds. So we know these Air Force Ones, the Murakami drip, and others are being released, or I think the first samples have gone out or something like that. I haven't really stayed up to date on this, but they have a billboard somewhere. I can't, did they say this was, what language was that? Japanese? What was that? But anyway, cool stuff, them releasing these Air Force Ones, and there's a little hype over that. Moving forward, Xverse. So we've been talking about ordinals. We've also been talking about the stamps as well. And I was going to talk about an article. So if you're interested in more information on Bitcoin stamps, I'm still not understanding what they are, me personally. But Trust Machines came out with an in-depth article on Bitcoin stamps. And if you don't know what Bitcoin stamps are at all, it's basically like an NFT. Or if you want to be bougie about it, it's like a digital artifact, right? On Bitcoin. So here it says, you thought inscribing on rare old sats is hard. Well, it's not anymore. Ordinals bot with the Xverse app help you to do it in a few clicks. So apparently you can create ordinals with like a few clicks of a button now with the help of Xverse and Ordinals bot. So just wanted to call that out. Interesting stuff going on. Let me know in the chat if y'all have dabbled in ordinals, if y'all have been stacking some of these ordinals or not. And there was another tweet that I had pulled up. It was something like 100,000 ordinals had been created in the past few weeks or something like that. I wish I could have found it. Actually, let me see. It was Trevor.btc. Yeah. Yeah, okay, here it says, posted 7 hours ago, over 125,000 ordinals inscribed in 24 hours. Yesterday was 99,000. What is going on? So some interesting data there. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I haven't really looked into the comments, but so there's some activity for sure happening. And of course, so keep your eye on ordinals and also keep your eye on the Bitcoin stamps. And lastly, y'all, I just feel like I'm behind on information right now. So Luke here says Central Bank of Argentina has suspended operations. I briefly listened to a video over this earlier, but I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know enough on it. But so he lists that BRICS countries stockpiling gold, 1 month and 3 month treasuries gap widening, debt ceiling needing urgent raise. Don't forget the banks still teetering on runs. Anyone else feeling like 2024 or 2025 going to be fireworks years? I don't know. And I saw another tweet, and again, I'm just relaying information that I've seen. Always take things with a grain of salt, do your own research. Someone was like, this treasuries gap widening, like even we could see something, kind of reveal or come to surface this summer, like June, July or something. So I'm not really sure what that information means there, but again, just stuff that we really do need to stay on top of, so we can prepare and make the appropriate decisions. But I will say this, I feel like people have been calling this Armageddon since like 2020. I know Robert Kiyosaki, I used to listen to him a lot in like 2018, 2017, and he's been calling for this massive financial crisis since like 2017. Like he's been saying, and here we are in 2023. Now, are we probably nearer at this point? Probably, but I mean, people been calling this financial collapse for years, and it still hasn't happened. But clearly we are in a recession of some sort. But I don't know if we've gotten to that point of quote, economic collapse or anything like that. Let me know what y'all think about that on the in the chat. Okay, so the last thing here, y'all, All right, y'all. And if y'all just tuned in, hit that thumbs up for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. I'm Michelleurl. Welcome to Untwisting the Game. Here on this channel, we talk, kind of switch focus and talk predominantly on Bitcoin. But I talk a little bit about NFTs and some other ecosystems as well. So welcome if you are new here. So one other thing, let's take a moment to look at, so I think Bitcoin was at like 27. Yeah. Earlier today, I think it was at 27.5. So it's at 27.8 right now. Ethereum 1.8. Cardano 0.39. Stacks was at like 0.73 or something like that. Sovereign was at like 0.48 or something like that earlier today. So we're definitely seeing a dip happen. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know. But I've seen some people talk about, maybe we've seen that 30, what did we hit? 31 or something like that. Maybe that was the peak for this bear market, and we're gonna, revisit some lows, but we'll see. All right, last thing I wanted to mention to you all. So my birthday is actually next month, and I've just been kind of reflecting, which is what I usually do around this time. And one thing that I've really had the urge to do is have more conversations, have more talks, and just like talk and chat and build a space for just open dialogue. I just feel like I've been in a space where I just have so much to say, and I'm consuming a lot of different content. And when I'm talking about this, I've been consuming a lot of a wide range of content, from right conservative content to moderate content to liberal content to, I've just been everywhere with the type of information that I'm consuming. And that's kind of the space that I'm in right now, where I just want to hear what everybody has to say. And it's just really interesting when you open yourself up to that, right? When you're just open to hearing many different perspectives on a subject, and coming into conversations and coming into dialogue, as people would say, with the willingness to have your mind changed, right? It's really an interesting experience. And so I've really been in this space where I want to start my old YouTube channel back up. And it's going to be super casual. We're just going to have casual conversations on the channel. I might talk about politics. I might talk about Bitcoin. I might talk about travel. I might talk about, who knows? It's going to be an anything goes type of channel, because that's the space that I'm in. I don't think I've ever really shared this channel. This is so old, and really I'm going to go back and clean up a lot of this, maybe unlist some of this stuff and kind of just start fresh. But I used to do reviews and product reviews and kind of just talk about, hustle culture and stuff like that. I'm not in that space anymore. I'm in a different place. So I'm going to use this channel to just talk and just share and invite. So that's my little announcement for tonight. Probably within the next few weeks, I'll start posting on this channel. I mean, there was something that I watched today that I wanted to comment on, and I had some thoughts on. So who knows? So head over to this channel, subscribe, set your notifications, because I'm going to start posting to this channel. Another thing that I want to do is, as I'm kind of going down this El Salvador rabbit hole, I really want to talk about everything that I'm finding, because there's just so many resources, so many Twitter pages and websites, and there's this and there's that, and there's just so much information to be accumulated and shared. So I might, use this page as a space for that. So there's that. So we're going to continue with Untwisting the Game, talking predominantly about Bitcoin, talking about digital collectibles, talking a little bit about altcoins as well. We're going to continue to do live streams as well on Untwisting the Game. And in the meantime, in between time, you can catch me on my personal channel, Michelleurl, and it's going to be an anything goes channel. Okay. All right, y'all. That's really all I have. Oh, look who woke up and came out of hibernation. Creole, what's up? I know people surprised to see you. What's up, Creole? Shout out to Crawfish. Oh, what's up, Coin HODLer? What's up, y'all? Hit that thumbs up. I'm gonna go live Creole, I'm gonna go live next week. We'll believe it when we see it. Creole been saying he's gonna go live for like 4 weeks now. Really like a couple months now, and we're still waiting. So Creole, don't get anyone's hopes up. Just go live. Just go live and people will be just pleasantly surprised. How about that?